Well, here we are back at Newark Park. I don't think I've ever used a location for filming 3 times in succession using exactly the same point. It just happens to be convenient. It's very quiet here. We're just off the Cotswold Way. I managed to park my car over there in the National Trust car park, and there's something to lean against, which is great, so I can talk to you wonderful people watching my video. Here we are, back on Cotswold Way, number 14. I can't believe it's 14 already. It doesn't seem that long ago I was doing the very first Cotswold Way as we set off from Far West Farm heading north. But obviously we're continuing our journey south to the city of Bath. I won't keep saying the Roman city, it gets boring. There we go, mentioned it again. Very different conditions today compared to yesterday. Yesterday I explored the entirety of Newark Park and indeed Osleworth, which is further over in the valley. Have a look at that video if you've not seen it. It went up this morning and I'll put a link again to this video so you can see that connection here to Newark Park. Interestingly, a lot of the guidebooks I've read, I got 3 guidebooks on the Cotswold Way, not one of them tells you anything about Newark Park, yet it's a quarter of a mile off from the park. Seems strange to not mention it all, because anybody doing the Cotswold Way, if you do have time to visit, it's well worth an explore. But we're not doing Newark Park again today. We're heading on down the Cotswold Scarp, down to a small little, well, hamlet really, called Wortley. I'd never been there before, but it has interesting history in terms of mills. In fact, there used to be 15 mills in the valley, and I will tell you more about that when we get there, courtesy of Richard Sale's wonderful book. We're then going to head on to the attractive Cotswold village of Aldersley. Aldersley, you probably see it lends in Lee, as is North Nib Lee, so it means a clearing, and this time, not as I read it late last night, I was boning up on this route, I read it as the clearing in the field of adders. No, it's actually a clearing in the trees of alders, not adders. I hope we don't cross any adders today. I don't think we will. It's certainly cooler. It's very different conditions to the day that I had at Newark Park yesterday, when it was very hot. It got up to 30 degrees. It's only about 18 degrees today, and it's promising to be probably a damp day, maybe a little bit of lightning, we don't know. Hopefully it's not too damp, but anyway, it's misty here. It is a bit of dampness in the air, but that's very cool, makes it pleasant conditionings for walking. I couldn't have walked yesterday in that heat. Anyway, we're going to continue our journey south and head down the scarp into Wortley. See you in a bit. Just hear very faint drips of rain on the leaves on the trees that are above me here at the moment, but it makes it really fresh. It's like the whole of the countryside's had a brush down and a freshen up overnight. It's so much clearer. It got really unbearable last night. I was after I got back from Newark Park and had tea, I was putting that Newark Park video to bed. I was editing it and rendering it and all that stuff you don't want to know about. I was hot. I just felt I was melting sorting that out, and the humidity seemed to go right off the scale, and I noticed my laptop was really struggling with the heat. The fan was going at full pelt when it was rendering that, and seemed to be kicking out a load of heat more than normal. Anyway, things have cooled down somewhat now, and really enjoying the landscape here, and give it a different perspective in the mist. The drive, I seem to come into Newark Park a different way. Not quite sure how that happened, but the driveway, I was considering doing a piece to camera there, because you've got these wonderful beech trees, and we had the mist between them, was intertwining that. It was beautiful. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too dark to do any filming. I think it would have been, although my camera would have done it, it would have been a little bit too grainy, I feel. So that's what I did. I stuck to the old favourite location that I've got here. Anyway, we're continuing along this wonderful track. It's also used by farmers as well, but we've got views either side. Just wanted to point something out at this point here on the Cotswold Way. I don't know if there's any Cotswold conservators watching this one, but there seems to be a missing post here because the track continues along there, but the Cotswold Way actually diverges to the right along there, but there's no post to tell you that. And if you look at the OS map, it looks like the line of the Cotswold Way follows the track until it bends around to the left and it suddenly disappears off to the right. Or if you zoom right in, you can see that it's not actually following the track, it's running parallel to the track, just slightly to the right of it. Hence this right diverge route here. But as I say, there is no post to tell you that. So if you're doing the Cotswold Way, one to look out for here. Yeah, so I found the post. It's lying in the field. It's obviously fallen over, probably fell onto the track, and somebody using the track has just placed it in the field out of the way of the track, but it means people could easily miss that. We're now about to start heading down the scarp, and after this point the Cotswold Way changes its character until the very last section as we head into Bath. It becomes less hilly, less severe hills, less scarp, more undulating lowland, so there is a change here. So this is kind of the last of the steep scarps that we've become accustomed to throughout the journey so far from Chipping Campden. Now, we just arrived at Wortley. The actual hamlet itself is to my right, your left, and the Cotswold Way goes straight in front of the lane in front of me and into that field. But so before we do that, we're going to head into Wortley so I can tell you a little bit more about the mills in this area. or in Wortley. I just wanted to, oh, that's in the way. Just wanted to tell you a little bit about what Richard Sale says about Wortley, because it's pretty interesting. He says, after following the scarp around, the way descends a flank of Wortley Hill and skirts Wortley village to the country beyond. Wortley itself is another lay village. The Wortley, the clearing for vegetable growing. Well, it's interesting now that there seems to be lots of fruit trees, so maybe fruit trees is the thing that's taken over from the vegetable growing here. We'll have a quick look at that shortly. It was also the birthplace of Stephen Hopkins, a local clothier who sailed in the Mayflower with the Pilgrim flowers in 1620. That trip was his second to the New World, his previous one having ended in disaster with a mutiny in which he played a part and a shipwreck off Bermuda. As the Jamestown colony was starving when he eventually reached it, he returned to London. Hopkins had been educated at Wootton, where he also learned the wool trade. He obviously learnt it well because he made a fortune in London, travelling in on the Mayflower with 2 menservants. In America, he was Miles Standish's right-hand man and eventually became a high-ranking official. He died in 1644. Wortley also has a fine example of a Georgian mansion built around 1707 by the Osborne family, who were local mill owners. Although the house is attached to an older building, it is the Georgian section that attracts the interest, particularly the interior, where there is a square stairwell with an elegant oak staircase lit by a 10-foot square Venetian window containing much of the original green glass. Though tiny, Wortley played an important part in the early prosperity of the area because of its closeness to the stream, descending from the Oswald bottom to Micklewood. The 5-mile length around Wortley had no less than 15 mills, many of them of good size. In addition, there were a dozen or more around Wootton, those around Kingswood, and still more on the Kilcot tributary, nearly all of them cloth mills, a remarkably heavy concentration. Well, we've arrived at Alderley, and it's been a bit wet. The rain has just stopped again now, but between Wortley and Alderley, it's been quite wet on the walk through the fields there, that's why I've not done any pieces of camera. I've only managed to snatch a couple of photographs, which are obviously probably already seen those, depending on the editing. I've just come to Alderley churchyard. Sadly, the church is not open at the moment, but it's got I'll show you around the outside in a bit. The reason I want to do this little piece to camera with you, why it's nice and quiet here and there's a seat and the rain stopped for the moment, is just to tell you something. It's a bit personal, but I thought that you may be interested in it, and it's something that's obviously on my mind to do with my family. When I returned to Gloucester, before I returned to Gloucester, I was aware that my mum's sister husband was sadly very poorly, and you may recall on the Cotswold Way that I've mentioned Chris and Heather a couple of times. In fact, if you go back to the vlog I did where we crossed Edge Common and we were looking at orchids, the previous day I'd actually gone looking for those orchids with Chris, and Heather, and we were identifying them and having a look at them, and I knew he wasn't well, and shortly before, not long ago, I also took him to the Newark Birds of Life, Birds of Prey Centre there, which I obviously did a vlog about, although I didn't put Chris and Heather on camera for reasons I'll explain. And just sad news that just a few days ago, Chris sadly passed away. He had been ill for a little while, and sadly nothing more could be done. And just wanted to say a little tribute to Chris here. And I know we shared similar interests, in particular to do with nature. He also liked railways. In particular, he was very keen on birds. He used to go out with Heather to various places, looking at birds on holidays. And so yeah, I'm really sad to say that he's now passed on, but obviously he is no longer suffering no more. So yeah, that I just wanted to share that, and I just wanted to say all the best for Heather, because obviously it's very, very difficult when your husband passes away and then you're then on your own. So I just wanted to share that with you. Yeah, so obviously I thought it was appropriate because obviously we're in the churchyard here, and it's nice and quiet. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you around the churchyard, and I'm in two minds whether to carry on to Kilcott Mill at the moment because of the weather, and it's obviously, if I can't give you much footage, it's not much point in doing the vlog. So, and obviously where it rains I can't really do that, but the rain has eased off, so I'm just going to have a look, see how far it is, and make a decision. So either the vlog will end shortly with another piece saying goodbye, or it will continue. If you carry on watching you'll soon find out. Anyway, I'll catch you in a bit. Now, because of the weather today, I didn't make it any further than Alderley Church. So when we recommence the Cotswold Way, it'll be number 15. We'll go to Alderley all the way over to Hawkesbury Upton. I'll do it as a loop. I'll explain more in the next vlog. Here though, I've just come back to the edge of Newark Park. We're just off the Cotswold Way. Cotswold Way is just there where those line of trees. I'll do a pan round in a minute. Quarry's Long Barrow. Very similar to what we saw at Bella Snap. Obviously not so big, doesn't come up so high. It curves round there, and I'll pan around in a second so you've got a better idea. So another long barrow. This would have been a burial chamber for the dead. Again, we're looking at anything between 4,000 and 8,000 years BC. If I can do some more research on it and I'll drop more exact dates of when this was built, I will do so. It is in the middle of a field. We're surrounded by sheep. They've just moved into that field over there while I'm doing this piece to camera for you. But it is protected under, I believe it's Natural England that look after it, although we are actually on National Trust, the edge of the National Trust land here as well. So it's protected on both counts. And this site here itself, there is a stone wall, though looks like it has crumbled away a little bit. There is a stone wall, and that defines the site of where the limit of cultivation will be. So this bit here can't be cultivated. In terms of whether it's been excavated and what's been found in here, I don't know. There was believed to be two chambers. There's a panel that was on there, so I'll drop that in now so you can see a plan of what this would have looked like originally. And there would have been a false entrance here just behind the camera, and the main entrances would have been just there where that dip is, and there's another hollow on that side, so there would have been an entrance on that side as well. So yeah, this is one of the series of long barrows that cover the Severn Vale and the Cotswold Escarpment as you head down from Chipping Cameron towards Bath. Just another little one on way here. Yes, well, here I am at my favourite guest gate post again. It's the fourth time now I've actually either started or ended a vlog here, and obviously we did the piece to camera yesterday when we were doing Newark Park. This will be the last time, I promise. I do apologise for today's vlog in terms of we were defeated a bit by the weather. It's been heavily showering parts. When I got to Alderley, it then started to chuck it down, so I made the decision, rightly or wrongly, not to continue any further today. I was hoping to get to Kilcott Mill and beyond, but the weather was just really poor. I couldn't get my camera out of my rucksack to even take a photograph, let alone to piece the camera on a microphone with a dead cat on top of it. So yeah, I'm sorry, it's sad to say they're closing this vlog today. We will commence at Alderley next time, and we'll continue our journey there and make it into a circular walk next time, a full proper circular walk, and we'll come back via Tresham and the Monarch Way, and I'll tell you more about the Monarch Way because the walks cross over as we head south to Bath. So there will be another 6 vlogs to go before we reach Bath, and on the next one we should, all being well, reach the fascinating little village of Hawkesbury Upton. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed well, the little we have had today. I hope you've enjoyed it anyway, and I hope to see you all again soon. If you haven't already, please consider a subscribe, a like, a share, or a comment. Anyway, hope to see you again. Take care of yourselves. All the best. Cheers. Bye bye for now.